Hey, what's good everyone? Happy New Year, and I hope you've all had a great holiday. This year has been pretty huge for the channel. We just hit 10k, and as a way to say thank you, I wanted to show you guys my stop motion journey and go through and show you the evolution of my videos, how they started out to what they are today. Some of these videos have never before been seen, and honestly they probably should have stayed that way, but for you guys I'm making an exception. Feel free to roast me as much as you want in the comments, and with that said, let's begin. This story starts out way before the creation of Netbricks. About 10 years ago in fact, I went around one of my friend's houses and he introduced me to stop motion. I'd always been a huge fan of Lego and building, but now I knew I could make these figures move at my will.
And execute my every command.
I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. So when I went home, I downloaded Stop Motion Studios on my iPad and made my first ever stop motion. Here it is. Safe to say it wasn't the best. But you know what, I did get some of the basics down, like keeping the camera still and well, that's about it. But you know what, for a first ever stop motion attempt, it's not that bad. For the next few months I made a few more of these pretty simple films. I also made a YouTube channel, Ben's Brick Films, which you can still find to this day. There's one video still live over there, so if you want you can go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, in the early days, as I said, I mainly stuck with the quite simple stuff, just like characters walking around and building things.
Wait till you see the
I also made these review videos as well.
Posable wings, which is quite cool. You can sit Saruman if he's got his legs on.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about those. I was making some slow improvements. One thing I will say is the set design is pretty decent. I've always been a fan of making mocks, so yeah, I guess you can kind of tell, but my framing and cinematography doesn't really show them off very well. I used one camera angle for the entire video, as well as my main bedroom light, hence why they look a bit 360p. Actually, that's probably being a bit generous. Hence why they look a little bit absolutely crap. Anyway, I'll scroll up till about 2013 summer. So I've been doing stop motion for about a year and a half, and at this point, honestly there's actually no improvement to show. I guess I've kind of got the walk cycles down. I will say I kind of like the portal effect on this video, but then again it's all shot from one angle and the lighting's pretty bad, the sound's not very good, so it really makes the few good elements that are kind of hard to appreciate, but at least you know I was experimenting a bit more.
Adios, amigo.
Hey, give my friend back.
Moving on, next up is the legendary Lego Battle of the Burger, my magnum opus. This one came out just after the Portal video. It is my first ever proper fight scene with combat, guns, etc. And let's take a look, shall we?
Hand over the burger. Now!
No, it's mine.
Thank you.
It's not the best. The guns are alright, but it's a little bit jarring because it's the exact same sound effect over and over. But I guess for a first fight scene, it could be worse. You can at least kind of tell what's going on. I'll show you one more example from around the same time. Unfortunately for this one, I can't play any sound because I recorded an AC/DC track over the top. It sounds pretty rough anyway though, so you're not really missing out. I will say the fight scene choreography is decent, and there is some cool effects like the wall getting shot up. I'd say this is a definite improvement over the Battle of the Burger, but I'm pretty sure I still had no idea what easing in or out was at this time, and that's pretty evident. That's why it looks a bit like jumpy. I can't actually tell you what frame rate this is, but I'm pretty sure I used to make most of my stuff at 10 FPS, which to be fair was probably the best frame rate for the way I was animating. Alright, so I'm going to skip forward about 9 months to where I think there's a little bit of an improvement. This is my D-Day film, which at the time I was super proud of. I'd just seen Saving Private Ryan, so I'd built this huge D-Day beach mock. I filmed it on a pool table, so that's what the blue felt is for the sea. And yeah, honestly, I can't even hate too hard on myself for this one. It's by no means perfect, but there's some camera movement, a pretty cool set, and the water effects are quite good too. So yeah, good job 12-year-old me.
Get to the beach!
After a few more videos at this kind of standard, I stopped making films for a while. About 2 years, mainly just because I was getting absolutely violated at school for having a Lego YouTube channel, but after a while I decided to pick it back up, and this is where my videos started to improve quite a bit. I was a lot older now, so I was starting to understand more about stop motion. I started making more fight scenes. I'm just going to show a bunch of clips from a few films at this time, but you can sort of tell they are looking a little bit smoother. One thing that was still really lacking was the sound design, which to this day is probably the thing I enjoy least about making these videos. I like that the choreography got a little bit more advanced and the effects were a bit improved, as well as the overall storytelling. Honestly, if I knew how to do ease in and out, these videos probably would have looked half decent, but at the time I was just kind of learning through trial and error. These videos here spanned from about the start of 2016 to about March 2017, and then this was the last ever video I posted on Ben's Brick Films. It's a massive improvement over where I started, but still, looking back at it now, there's so many things I would change. Fast forward to about 2019, after having another 2-year hiatus from stop motion, I decided to create my new YouTube channel, and thus, NetBricks was born. A few of you probably know the rest of the story, but for those of you who don't, I'll continue on. I remember my first ever video on this channel taking about a month and a half to make, just because I kept reshooting scenes. I learned a lot about easing in and out and just making fight scenes look good in general, and when I released this video I was super happy with it. If you haven't, it might be worth checking out some of my older videos on here, because there's some that I still think are actually quite good, like they still kind of hold up. Western hospitality in particular is genuinely one of my favourite things I've ever made, and I'd love to go back and remake an updated version. I just love how authentic these older videos feel. In these early videos you can definitely see I wasn't quite as good. There's a few little things, the animation looks a little bit jumpy at points, and the blood effects and sound design aren't quite up to standard, but this really is the foundation for my videos that I make now. Over the past 3 years I've really built on these skills by watching others' videos and trying to learn more about stop motion in general. Especially in the last 6 months or so, I've really learned a lot. Looking at the difference between my first ever video and now, you can really see the improvement in quality, and I hope to continue to improve into the future. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much. I know I've been doing a lot more of these talking videos recently, but I promise I've got tons of stop motions planned for the new year. I hope this video has been enjoyable, or maybe even motivational. You know, if you're just starting out, stick at it and you will improve. This video is proof of that. Stop motion's fun, and as long as you're enjoying what you're making, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. And that sentiment really goes for anything in life. So yeah, if that's not worth a like, I don't know what is. Thank you so much for 10k, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.